As we are going to welcome women in health, the band is going to lead us with another song. Let's dance, guys. It's our day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Hallelujah.
I would like to acknowledge leadership of the TVET. For TVET, so I was saying that I would like to acknowledge the leadership of TVET for inviting me. I don't take this for granted. And thank you, Ms. Kunyazwa, for always reaching out. She was sitting here. So I really appreciate the opportunity. I've been given a task to talk to you about a woman and her health. By background, I'm a clinical psychologist, so each time I'm requested to talk about health, I usually would skip and think about mental health. But today I want to go very general, because when we talk about one's health, it incorporates a lot of things. And I'm hoping that by the end of my talk, you can be able to at least identify a few things that you've taken and that you will take home. Is it okay using English? I don't want to lose anyone. Right. Now, as I was saying that with regards to health, when we look at health, it has so many wings. If we are to say optimal health for a woman, we're talking about a person who is able and whose well-being is at its optimal level with regards to her emotions, with regards to her physical health, with regards to her financial health, with regards to her intellectual health or cognitive health, with regards to her work or career life, with regards to her social life, and also the spiritual wing. So it's all in one. And those areas, if we are to rank from 1 to 10, and a person can rank themselves 5, that means they are not optimally functioning. That means there are certain things that are not working out. And when that happens, then we can be able to say a person is not functioning at their optimal level of health. So we cannot say they are totally or 100% healthy, because some of the areas are not balancing. Now, I also want to acknowledge that it's so difficult to balance all these areas that I've said. Sometimes you might find that socially you are thriving. Sometimes you might find that your physical health that does not have challenges. But when it comes to finances, you know, sometimes you might have the finances and you find that your health, your body, you are accumulating so many illnesses, you don't even know where they are coming from. That means you are not at 100% level. And as women, we need to be at our optimal, because we have so many responsibilities. We don't only take care of ourselves, we take care of our families. We take care of our children. We take care of our husbands, our relatives, our in-laws, our cousins, everybody. You know, black tax. You are the only person working in the house. You must feed everybody. And that is our culture. So now, if you're not functioning at your optimal level, that means there are areas that will be impacted or affected. And this is what I want us to go through. Now, there are components, or what I would call diversities or adversities to health. These meaning, these like zitibeli zori batibasiswike ka kamutakaro wabwa matake. This is so many things. I'm going to list so that you know what I'm going to go through. Number one, I will go through your emotional health. I will briefly go through social health, physical health, and I'm going to dwell a lot on physical health, because that's where women are taking a fall. And we think we are making it. We think, and this is the area where everybody's saying, I can say I'm doing my best. So I'm going to pound on it. Psychological health, I'll go spiritual health and financial health. So God help me. Are we together? Okay. Now I will start with your emotional health. You will agree with me that people are different. There is somebody who will come and tell you, oh, your brother just passed away. The person will just be quiet. Somebody will be told your brother has passed away. They will scream their lungs out. Somebody will be told and they will keep quiet for a while and then they start crying. Without even screaming, without nothing, because we are different. So our personalities and our characters do play a role into our emotional well-being. Now, here's the thing. If a woman does not appreciate her self-worth, what is your self-worth? Your value, your identity, your being. If you don't value your self-worth, what happens is we see you with low self-confidence and low self-esteem. And this also interplays with your behavior. We see people who would say, some people will even brag and say, and I always ask myself, in health, we don't have small hearts. If you ever have a small heart, you're not going to survive. And that is how we live as women. We are so irritable and we shout. Look at how you speak to the children when you reprimand your daughters, your sons. You scream. I mean, sometimes when I'm walking by Tabani Mall, because of my career, I'm very observant. You find a mother shouting at a child at the mall. If they can shout at the mall, what is happening in the house? And some of our husbands are running away because, we are too much. We go 180 without slowing down. There are no brakes. And these emotions are even picked up at work when you're working, because people will be saying, we see her. She's so irritable. You just step on her toe without even seeing or without even acknowledging. No, she will shout you. She will shout at you and you will think you just want to disappear into thin air. And this irritates the outbursts. We even praise them. And it's wrong as women. We cannot grow if we cannot look at the mirror and say, what I'm doing is wrong. And this is the thing. It's nice when we are seated here and we are talking. If you're not going to take one thing and implement, then it amounts to nothing. And women will not make it with this mentality of just listening and then going and not changing anything. So now we talk about emotional health. Your emotional health matters because it influences how you interact with people. It also, it influences how you interact with your children, how you interact with your colleagues at work. And what kind of a brand as women are we putting out there? If we say so and so may see, what will they first say? Will they say, on Papa Wambiti? And we need to really take steps for our emotional health to be at an optimal level. We need to really step down and say, this is what I have to deal with. If I'm short-tempered, let me deal with it. Because also being short-tempered, it's a choice. That is why we can present the same situation and another person will not react. There are people who, by nature, they will just shout at you. I mean, you're not going to change them. Are you here to change the world? Are you hearing me? Now, management of emotions is important. We need to be in control of our own emotions. They must not control us. And some of us are married. The husband will know, if I want to go to my concubine, I must just start an argument. When I leave, it is as if now, I'm angry. But I know I was planning this. And the poor woman does not know. And she plays into it. When it comes with an argument, you rise. You know when you rise, how you do it. Huh? You can even feel it. Some will say, Mbirianga no gigi. And you don't know the guy has planned it. Initially, I will just pick up an argument. I'm going to meet you in the evening. Actually, why you think he's angry, he's just going to Be wise with your emotions. Be wise how you handle your emotions. And if you can manage on your own, when you go to work, it will be perfect. When you interact with your children, it will be perfect. I always tell parents, because it's always us. When children are successful, it's the husband. When they go astray, it's women. Now I want to tell you, if you are always shouting at your child, they won't hear you. In fact, you have actually helped them to put the earbuds. They don't even hear you when you are talking. They are like blah, blah, blah. As you are talking, blah, blah, in their mind. And they're not hearing a word. Do yourself a favor. If you are the shouting kind of people, go home and say, from today, I am a or shout at the stop. They will laugh, they will say, what I'm trying to happen. But it's better to try than just to sit there. Number 2, social health, self-care, with regards to family relationships, children, relatives, in-laws. Some of us are single parents. We are employed. But month end, there is this guy who comes to chow the money. Social intelligence. No. When issues of the heart comes to women, it's like we have clappies. In fact, even if it's your sister, you can talk to her. She won't hear you. You will tell her, Sissy, wait, this guy, I know, he's been womanized crazy. She won't hear you. She would think she's number 1. And by the way, she will be number 10 at that time. And you won't help. Women goes to love like there's no tomorrow. And if we can just invest the energy that we have for love to our own self-development, we will be far. Social intelligence has an impact in your social health. Women are one of the groups of people who compete. We compete with clothes, we compete with what we drive, we compete with houses, we compete with children. I mean, we even bring the children to eat. And then, you don't know, your children have their own voices. I mean, you can send them to school thinking they're going to succeed, and they don't make it. And you are busy bragging. You know, my child is a virgin. Who told you? Tina, women we speak, man. Sometimes I listen to women, I'm like, I wish I was a man. Social intelligence. If you compete with your friend about what you have, what is the use? What do you get? Social intelligence. You know, a lot of stresses comes because people are competing like submarines. You know a submarine? You compete without even telling each other that we are competing. I always say that I wish for a world where women will compete openly about self-development. Where when you compete, you're saying, see what I'm bringing month end with my hands. Not the label. I mean, if you wear Gucci, when you sleep, you're sleeping same bed. You still go to the loo, and a person cannot afford it. And for those who can afford it, it's fine. For a person who cannot afford it, they are taking the money that they're supposed to do a particular responsibility, which is a need. And they go buy Gucci. After wearing that Gucci, that responsibility is sitting in front of your eyes. And then the social health now suffers because stress. You have worn it in the afternoon, but in the evening the responsibility is looking at you. Social intelligence for health. Protect your cycle. Protect your cycle because your friends are usually the most influential people around you. Look at how you dress, like your friends. The makeup you put on, like your friends. Hey, you. Your skin is glowing. I'm putting on 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, tomorrow, even that afternoon. I'm grateful that we are improving. You should have seen the makeups in the early 2000s. I mean, but 2010, you should have seen the makeups. They were terrible. And we women don't tell each other the truth. No. Even if we can see the eyebrow is going, Jerry, we won't say. We would rather scratch each other and say, hi, did you see the eyebrow today? It's greeting everybody. Down with PhD, down. Down with PhD, down. Protect your cycle. You must know who's around, because if that person is not truthful, they will mislead you, man. They will take a picture. When they get home, they've bought flowers for themselves. They put it nicely. They put a gown, but look at what my husband brought me tonight. And then when you don't sleep the whole night crying, because you have never received flowers. And the flowers the girl had to go and buy for herself. Social intelligence for my social health. Physical health, this is where I'm gonna now just sit. I'm gonna try. Physical health. People, if I ask everybody here, they will say, no, Mina, I love myself. Ne? And we love ourselves. I agree. I love myself too. But if there's one thing that women are doing, women don't bath. Now that there is load shedding, there is load shedding. A lot of us this morning might have just wiped everywhere. Find women in winter. And if there's something that is particular about us, we have a hole that needs to be cleaned. Need I say more? Women don't love themselves because they think being clean is just, bathing the mud and sleeping and then putting on makeup. When we talk about physical health, we don't start there. We start to ask you, you love your body. If you love your body, my second question would be that you would change in your body. And we have many. One will say in my nose, hey, my eyes are too big. Hey, bari ni barara. Hey, bari na femini is panda. Don't love ourselves. If there were things we could change, we'll just change them. And they are traumatizing us. We are always trying to modify ourselves. Those who are darker, they want to be light. Those who are lighter, they even have an English thing to do, tanning. They go tanning, they want to be darker. Those who are thin, want to be a little bit, you know, bigger. They say, you know, if I had calves. They've even made extended calves these days, the fake ones. And the fake boobs, né? We want to modify ourselves, it even hurts because we no longer even check what we are doing to our skins. Some people go for, you know, certain things. Eh? They will take pills to be slim. And those pills are not even FDA approved. And when you start having issues inside, you say, no, you are eating those things. Now, loving myself does not only begin with take a bath. It begins by accepting my body as is. If I have a structure that is my bone structure is big, I'm not going to how do you tone down a broad bone structure? And when I look at my parents, both my parents, I can't be thin. Otherwise, if I get worse, then people will now start diagnosing me. And now you find this person whose parents are this short and this slim, and you want to be like them. And now, because of that, you are at a pressure to take pills, to take whatever. You know, there are so many mixtures in this world, eh? If all of them, I mean, the reason why you are passing from one to another is because they don't usually work for everybody. And maybe you are that one person whom those things are not working. I'm not discouraging you trying to modify. I'm just saying do it safely. Because your body matters, your health matters. Did you know that if you lose your health today, nothing will ever matter? What would you do? You can't wake up. Everything is done for you. It's not right. What we are eating, what we take in, has an influence again. Don't even think you don't have control over that. Do you love yourself? Loving yourself means accepting you. With your nose, with your eyes, with everything. Whether you are short or tall. You can't change that. You were born. No one had a cue to say, oh, I'm going to go for light, please, with some curves. We found out, I mean, sometimes I do. I mean, even myself, I do complain sometimes with my curves because they can be extraordinary. But I have to remind myself that I have to love myself with the curves that I did not cue for. They were here. Needs to be bathed. There are people who do not bath. I am serious about that. I went to a conference just not long. A person that I respect so much, hey, told me they are putting on a perfume. I was like I was shocked. I couldn't believe the person was saying that. And I was shocked to my core that I was like, what? And then she said, no, I'm not going to bother. I know I'm smelling a little bit, but I'm just going to put my perfume. I like you when we are sitting here, because we are mothers. They are so not clean that their homes, as I speak now, it's a mess. How do you live with yourself, with children? Whatever now. Aye man, not Bafmagas. If we get to your bedroom now, hey, baby, yeah, Papa, bedroom. People are still piling the underwear. How do you an underwear as a woman? Is the woman here who's working, who's not wearing a panty liner? If you are here, eyeball, no. No. A person, I don't know what I'm imagining. Wait, don't find a cookie, don't put up a mama. Hey! Don't tell me. I would like to just go in deep and say, there are people who by nature, they have an order that they did not apply for. Now, if you have such, get treatment. It's very important. And people won't tell you, they will just say, people are like that. And the person did not choose, right? Same goes with your bread. Some people, when they talk, you just want to run and never come back. And some it's medical, some it's not medical. It's because they are not practicing hygiene when it comes to taking care of their teeth. I'm saying we are working, isn't it? We earn. Let's take care of ourselves. So, when we start working, this is another issue. We will always say, you know, I want to eat what I like. I've been poor for too long. And that is your excuse to eat fats and junk food. Do you think junk food is going to do good in your body? And you know, you think it's a luxury. There are people who think it's a status. I don't want to say any shop, but those restaurants, you know them. They can go every day after getting paid for the whole week and say, you know, I'm just peppering myself. I mean, I would say, go for massage and pepper yourself. Stop doing that. Junk food does not help. So many illnesses are because people are eating fatty foods. Even when you cook at home, you would rather go to wherever restaurant and fancy salad. But when it comes to oil, cooking oil, you can't go to olive oil. Do you know what you are eating? It's good that you go and spend 1,000 at once. At a go, you are tempering yourself. But when you go to buy cooking oil, you go for the cheapest brand because you are saving money. You can't buy olive oil. Coca-Cola bottle 125 these days. It's so expensive. Loving yourself. It's not only that. If you say you love yourself, your body, when you start having love handles, ask yourself, is it by genetics or is it what I'm eating? And if it's what you are eating, you have no excuse. I am sorry. There are so many illnesses that will affect you because of what you eat. I see now people are quiet. I don't disagree you must spoil your children. I don't disagree once in a while you go to the restaurants. Making it a habit that when you are lazy to cook, you go to restaurants. You are not doing your body a favor. Then when you tell me you love your body, I would say, I doubt. Let's take care of what we eat. Take care of what we. There's not as a dollar. Check it. If that's not China, sorry. Vasvika varenga zvozvo zvine vakuzvirenga zvine vapinda zvowana litsani zvikwentisani hezvi chipako chimotomorurumwa vasongorira vari kaloni nezvine kone magodhoro psychological health. So many of us are stressed out and depressed. Submarine depression. We hide it. We hide it with makeup, we hide it with clothes, we hide it with smiles. If there are people who are strong like women. And there are so many mental disorders that are out there. People don't even know them. I'll give you just two, briefly. One, we call it OCD. OCD is when a person, like when you clean, you can even feel in your heart, you don't want anyone to pass. When you go to the car, you can lock it and go back and say, lock it. And say, did I lock? You go for the third time. When you pack your things, you want them in a specific order. If they are not in that order, a person who did that will be called to order. You know what I'm talking about. That is a disorder. We have people who have panic attacks. Panic attack is when there's nothing, there's really no reason for you to panic. When you panic, you hear your heart rate will go fast. You know, you will sweat sometimes. Sometimes you feel like your heartbeat is just, you just get anxious. That's a panic attack. It's a disorder. We have different kinds of eating disorders. I don't even want to begin others because then I'm going to. But what I'm saying is, when you find that there is something that is not right with you, don't be silent. Speak up and get help. There's so much help out there from professionals, from pastors, from counselors. If you are stressed, say maybe your husband is really a bit controlling, because they are mostly controlling, right? So if he is controlling and it's affecting you, don't keep quiet because you want to stay married, and you want people to take you from that and to say, oh, she's married. Being married is nice, but at a price. So if you are suffering, it might be abuse, it might be stress of one kind or another. Speak out, because when you don't speak out, you accumulate other illnesses. So you say maybe you are stressed, then BP comes in, then stroke is another. So take care of yourself, knowing that this thing is interconnected. You cannot say, I'm only depressed when I'm home. When I go to work, I'm very happy, so I'll be okay. Yes, work will entertain you, but you go back home, you are the same. So address your issues. Because when you don't, you are actually cutting down. You are like a person who has an axe in their hands, cutting down your years of life without even knowing it. Seek professional help. Financial health. Know what you earn and live within your means. You know this thing called budget, we love it, ne? But we don't do it. Haven't you seen yourself having a list if you buy Woolworths, and then when you come out, you have added a lot of things that were not in the paper? That just tells you budgeting is not just a knowledge. It's very difficult. Some of you would even resort to say, I don't have cash in me because I will always spend it. But when you have your card in your purse, you get to ShopRite to say, I saw there is no milk. When you come back, what does the bag have? A lot of things. Financial stress. Some people are onateka people. They see something, they're grabbing it. Some people just love buying. When they're stressed, they go shopping. And to be honest, dads, men, they will take away your peace of mind. Even if we don't tell you, but it's the truth. When you are dead, some of the people, they even have strategies to say, oh, this phone I take, this one I can't receive it. Because there are so many people you are owing. And some of them, when you meet them in the mall, you just want to go like this. Because you are owing. And the tendency is to promise, hey, I'm going to give you on the 12th. And you don't end on the 12th. So there are financial stress because people bring them to themselves. Isn't it when I know I earn 2,000? I must live a life of... But you guys, or we, women, I will love living like we earn 95,000. There are those debts that are normal. Like you can't buy a car cash. It's very difficult. But Najamba, I am not wearing a debt cloth in my body. No. I've refused that from a long time ago. I've never owned an account, shame. I'm a professor, but I've never owned any shop's account. I love my peace. Period. If we go to your purses, we will find 6. And all of them They are debiting month end. When you go to a wedding, you can't go with an old clothes. Even when everybody does not even see you are wearing a new clothes, but it makes you feel good, but the debt is piling up. And I ask myself, if you are not getting married, why do you need a new clothes? For that matter, people are commending you, they are appreciating for that. It's a shame. The last one. Personal health, self-development. We have 24 hours in a day. We decide what we do with it. Many people are busy, you have your 8 hours in the office, you come back. Some of you will watch television from the time you come back, you just call, Matamera, idanina chisep. Matamera, idanina bush. Matamera, idananiti. And you will watch TV from 6, if you arrive at 6, up until 10 or 11 in the night. And you are so tired by then. You sleep and wake up and you go to work. But I will ask you, if we have 24 hours and 8 was reserved for work, 8 was reserved for resting, 8 is reserved for self-development, what the hell are you doing on TV? Because you are watching people who are earning. I can't, if I'm to watch television myself, I go for reality TV. I can't watch things. Some will say, hi, woman, you are too strict. It works for me. Invest on yourself. Some blame husbands and say, my husband will not allow me. Invest in yourself. You can do that through education. Starting a business. Make money out of you so you can have financial independence. As I wrap up, I want to say, your health matters. And it's high time that as women we stand together and build each other. If you have a friend and you know she spends a lot, talk to her. Don't just watch her and laugh. What the hell? And if you know yourself, you love buying. Sometimes stop yourself from going to the shops because you know that's your temptation area. Your health is your wealth. So take care of yourself. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. What a talk. Positive self-image versus negative self-image. Loving yourself. Titanganedze. Ndove ritogomera. Ritive zvine ravazvone, nazvine ravanazvo, nazvine rakunosvikelela. Nachede narawanayo, namushumo wayo wa important. Ndizvenda kuti. I wish earlier. When I grew up, I was so small. I used to pray to God. So I don't understand. From the band. Candle lighting. These are my friends who are not
Program Director. My item here is very simple. I will just request our guests to stand up, and if you are seated where there is a candle, could you please hold it, even if it's not burning, it will have an impact. Our guests, could you please stand up and quickly, so I will request those who have got candles in front of them to just share with our guests here. And the item that I'm going to render is for, we call it candle lighting. It's not lightning, it's lightning. Yes. My CEO, please assist me with the candle, please. Can we all rise, please, ladies? Can we all rise? I noticed the challenge of water is on the way, it's coming. Yes. Ladies, while we're all rising, I just want us to share a moment of silence. I forgot to mention that when we started this, we were working as a team of 21 women. Along the way, we lost 2 women. Comrade Mam Chauke from Chingwezi, she was a task team. She made all these 4 previous events a success. She died 2 years back due to COVID-19. And we also lost Dr. Poppy. She was the MC, program director, when we were having our event at Koroni. Those who were there will remember her. She used to call up Minieri. Today is her memorial service. She will be laid to rest tomorrow. And remembering all the women who died in the midst of COVID, and those who died due to violence, women violence. Those who died because of rape, all the abuses that they've gone through. I want us to have a moment of silence, remembering those who died, paving the way for us. Not to mention the women of 1956. I want us to have a moment of silence, remembering every woman who is suffering the consequences of women abuse. I'll just ask the comrade, if you are amongst us, please sing us that song which says, this little line, wherever you are, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Continue to rest in peace. Amanda. Just because of time, marriage being up, we are no longer going to
so many songs. Without any song, with due respect, I will be calling Madam CEO for the introduction of guest speaker.
Thank you, Program Director. Colleagues, I've been given a task to introduce our keynote speaker for today. And before I do that, I just want to thank Prof for the words that women doesn't love to hear. We don't want to be told we don't bath. And I want to share with you an experience of what she said. For almost 2 weeks, I'm not driving a car, and I realize how much I'm saving because I'm unable to pass by the mall. And I've saved a lot. I wish I can share with you, but I can't give it to anyone because self-discipline. I didn't say I'm walking, maybe I'm flying, I don't know. But I'm just saying sometimes self-discipline actually helps. It's not because I don't have a car, I just decided if I find someone else need help, I don't need a car. Use this, take me to work, but I don't pass by the mall and I spend less every day. So it's just a self-discipline that you need to, I'm used to a car, I can't like keep walking, but I discipline myself and say, can I live without a car? And I'm living without a car. Maybe you did not know I'm living without a car, and I've saved a lot. Allow me, colleagues, to introduce our speaker for today. And I'm seeing here, I was born in Gauteng, Soweto. She was born in Gauteng, Soweto. She's a teacher by profession. She was a principal in Dadis Primary School for 18 years. In 2016, she was given an opportunity to serve in a local government as a councillor and as a speaker of the district municipality. To date, she's a speaker. The district, I refer to one of our own, the VHEMBE district. She represents Salga Provincial Executive Committee in legislature. She's a chairperson of Provincial Salga Speakers Forum, member of African National Congress, Regional Executive Committee since 2012 to date. It's rare. Regional Working Committee since 2012 to date, and serving in a 4th term. It's rare. Even those of us who are employed permanently, we fail to serve for the 4th term. She's a mother. She's a grandparent. She forgot to roll. She's a sister to some of us. She's a member of an Evangelical Presbyterian Church. And this is none other than our own sister, our own comrade, Miss Tsakani Frida Mkondo. Amanda! Malibongwe! Malibongwe! Igama lamankosikazi.
so stunning. They are so beautiful. The CEO, Shakani, and all your management staff, Prof. Mapula A, all TVET college, lecturers, educators, whatever, organizers of this prestigious event, council members of TVET, VHEMBE TVET, all distinguished guests, as well as this band. Oh, I love you so much. Not forgetting these are young men. They don't abuse. Yeah. It is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I'm not an MEC, but I'm so delighted to get in the boots of an MEC today. And it's so lovely to stand here. This day is wonderful. Next time, just to invite me and be a guest. Okay, we've heard about the purpose of this event. Of course, it is true. We are gathered here in honor of courageous women who took a brave stance on a decision against the ruthless apartheid regime of unjust laws. Those of us we have experienced our grandmothers, our mothers, they were having long passes. Didn't they cash pay gun? They were too big. So most women, they took a stance to enough is enough. This marks the 66th year, yes, since 20,000 South African women from all corners of South Africa, irrespective of their differences. Some were white, some black, some thin, some fat, some were domestic workers, some were working from factories. All of them, they marched, they were united. They marched to the units to protest against the past laws that restricted the movement of black South Africans. We are today celebrating their success and efforts without resentment. What is crucial is the manner in which they mobilize themselves with one intention of saying, we no longer want to carry those don't-passes. They used to call them don't-passes. They did that willingly. As a country, we are experiencing challenges. You know that today we still have the second pandemic, which is gender-based violence and femicide. It has become a cancer. Women are raped and killed on a daily basis in large numbers, despite the fact that we are always campaigning, we are always protesting, we are always marching against GBV and femicide. So we have got a challenge as women, because it doesn't stop. They even not respect the month from those
16 days against GBV and femicide, they don't respect it. What must we do? It's a challenge. We need to unite and have one voice as to how to stop this illness from the perpetrators. One thing that I know is that when they are arrested, after 2 months, 2 weeks, 4 months, you find them roaming in the streets. There's something wrong with our justice system. Because the police are doing their work, but the justice system is protecting their human rights. So we need to stand up as women and do something. If we must say, let them be castrated, let us say so. And they need to rot in jail. Program directors, as women, we are also faced with a trauma. For different reasons. Some of them are being taken to become slaves. Some of them are being trafficked for multi-purposes. I just want to appeal to you, because as women, we are the ones who are suffering. In front of their mother. But unfortunately, on the way, on the road, I could not be home. So they were forced to get out of their car and run away. But community people were after them. Baba Beshnene, and at the end, Baba Yisa. So, but then, let us not take the law into our hands. Because when we do that, can't have a difference. Because we will all land in jail. It's a crime to take the law in our hands. I was so happy. There is this law that is respected. But for my next, let us ensure that our children are safe. We must always be vigilant and keep an eye. Let's show me that Mama Nabaya Vengelin. I want to wear North Brown. To these days is dangerous. So let us take care of our little ones, our angels. As I'm speaking, standing here, I don't have exact statistics, but I know that in our region, 5 girls are missing. As we celebrate Women's Month, let us not forget that as South Africans, we still have the triple challenges. The triple challenges is poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Government alone cannot eradicate these challenges, but all of us can contribute by creating jobs through skills that we acquire as women. I know that women who are talented is not so. We are very much talented. talented, and we have potential to bring change to our status quo by going back to the basics. When I say going back to the basics, khale ba mani ba hina ba kokwana hina a va rima masimu ni a va dya swakudya swa kahle. Prof, long time ago there were no illnesses because of the healthy food that we're eating from fresh from the gardens. But today, hey, go. Mangwazi otaresa. I'm not prof, but we are diva yeshokuri. Nashakudya leswi hi swi dyaku swa hi vangela mavabyi. Let me get into the theme of today: generosity and equality. Program directors, equality in education is necessary for learners, educators, everybody to have the same opportunities. There is a word called equity. Equity helps to make sure those equal opportunities are adjusted to make room for learners who might need extra help. Hence, equity and equality in education are essential. We are saying this because we still have income gaps. Our salaries are not the same. A white woman who works in a certain company does not earn the same salary with the counterpart, the black counterpart. Hence, we are not yet there. There is also gender inequality. This gender, I'm not referring to females only. Gender means men and women. When we say gender equality, when we have got, let me give an example of where I work, of my workplace, or let me give an example of the region that I belong to. When there are elections in our different churches, I mean our different political organizations, who are the top fives? Men. Who are men in those structures? We are men. Hence, there is a problem. There is a problem. Let us do an introspection to correct that. It's not correct because the Constitution says that affirmative action must happen 50%. Richimba, duma, aya duma makosiga, duma, aya duma makosiga, awu duma, aya duma makosiga, aya kena parliament 50%, duma makosiga, ayi 50%, aya duma makosiga, ayi duma makosiga, aya kena parliament. Was still not a thing. I won't talk much about healthcare. I won't talk much about it. It's correct. I won't talk much. So, when we talk about equity, do you see my 3 fingers? They're not equal, eh? For this one to be like this, we need something to put on All these three fingers must be equal to each other. So you're going to equity. When we talk about generosity, it's about honesty, openness, transparency, political will, kindness, and so forth and so forth. Technical vocational education training institutions play a crucial role in development of human capital required to transform the developing countries into fully developed nations. Those of us who were the apartheid system beneficiaries, we were taught in life skills. We were taught about locusts, butterflies, lizards, whatsoever. What is it assisting us standing here? Determining its locust, determining its butterflies. I will let you to tell Mara today, after the dawn of democracy, seated here, you are from TVET politics, astronomical. So our learners who are getting there because they are getting technical skills that will lead them to the industrial needs. As today, we need skills. But nobody knows the skills.
When Mexican colleges never been taught where I'll put something down and say, oh Dad, do you remember, do you know that? I don't have to do that. Arabic, whatever we are doing, can be concentrated. And whatever you are doing, you are representing me or is that what they do at VHEMBE when others are speaking? Colleagues, let us behave. So let's keep quiet and listen until the end. So,
thank you for protection. Amandla! Amandla! Viva Zimbokoto, viva! Viva! I was saying that as we have acquired democracy and our freedom, so many things have changed in our education system. Technical courses are popular among the male students, and only a small number of female students enroll in TVET institutions. I don't know, is it true or not? Because this is a study. It has changed, yes. It has changed. Thank you for that. I wanted to hear from the horse's mouth, because this study was done some years back. But still, we still have gender inequality issues and challenges in TVET education. There is a difference in technical courses, which are dominated by male students, while the female students dominated in marketing courses. Thank you, CEO. We've got a proactive CEO who is addressing all these gaps, because there were gaps. Now, electricians. Let me also give you one example just nearby. There is a woman who is now self-employed. A big company, as a builder. As a builder, we are as a woman because of technical vocational education. Because it's a young girl, very young, organization that believes that women still do not have fair representation in leadership and decision-making processes, but not with TVET and TVET College. Now, the wheel has turned around. On the other side, those in favor of TVET education argue that graduates with job-specific skills